by the way. You guys are amazing. Aren't they amazing? They're just... It's not easy, for somebody to just say, set a premise, and then you go and just start talking and get laughs like that. That's beautiful. 6 years in the Marines. What's your experience? You'd have to be on Mars not to know that even though it's been off the network for years, Star Trek is alive, folks.
That's right.
It's been good to our next guest, and it's going to continue that way. You'll see what when you meet Captain Kirk himself. Here is William Shatner. Thank you.
Is it the material or me?
Bill, is that kind of identification, is that good for your career? I mean, for them to know you so strongly from that one character?
Oh, I don't know. I keep being asked that question. I just come on your show and talk.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in my living room. I know them so well, still is. And Christy, I've worked with before, and we've had so much fun.
When did you work with Christy?
We raced go-karts.
Oh,
together.
yeah. Oh, yeah, and you won. How could
How could I appear here if I
beat
had
that little down?
I'll tell you how it was. I had a motorcycle boot on an accelerator pedal, and I couldn't lift the motorcycle boot up. All I could do was floor the pedal. So I kept racing around, and I just happened to beat her. She's so good. She's such a gutsy girl.
Oh, that can be dangerous, because they say they go 70 miles an hour.
They do.
They do.
How fast were you all going, do you know? About 50 at least? Were you leading?
Yeah, if feeling is, if your impression has anything to do with the rate of speed, it certainly seemed like 70 miles an hour. And it was rocky and muddy, and we kept jumping.
And they made the track in an hour, and they were supposed to take 4 hours to make the track. So you can imagine how the track was.
As a result of which I'm going to drive. I'm going to drive in the Grand Prix at Long Beach.
Are you serious?
Why?
You'll kill yourself.
I don't know. I've always done it. I've always done these idiotic things.
It's another mountain.
Another mountain to climb.
What's your
It's another
birthday?
Knievel.
March 22nd.
I've always done nutty things too, but I'm a Leo. You're an Aries, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo. Who cares?
So am I.
Are you?
Yeah.
I'm getting out of here.
I don't.
Gemini.
I don't go for that.
You don't
No,
believe?
I don't believe in that.
I like Geminis.
Astrology is. I think it has to do with living on the fine edge. Things just have to be exciting.
But do you try things, dangerous things, more than once? You just say, I'm going to take a flyer at that, and if it turns out all right, you say, next case?
No, I've done a lot of things that have been idiotically dangerous.
You done a jump out of a plane yet?
Well, in effect, yes.
What do you mean in effect? You either do it or you don't.
Yeah, it's true, but I had a parachute on and jumped out and...
You mean you do it without one?
Evil Knievel is going to land in 12 haystacks. Of course, he has to get out of jail first.
Yeah, and you know how that works? He'll say, there's one part over there, and the other part.
He's 12-part Evil Knievel.
Wow. Your fans, Bill, are dying to know. Are you going to make a movie of Star Trek?
Me too.
Is that going to happen?
Yeah, I'm dying to know, too. They keep... No, really, they keep canceling it and putting it on. And, I threw a party once because the show was about to begin filming. We're going to start doing a big feature. And I said, all right, let's everybody meet at my house. And we'll have a big brunch this weekend. And 150 people showed up. We had a big party. And we were supposed to start shooting on a Tuesday. And on Monday, they canceled.
Why?
So I don't know.
Is it contract difficulties getting the same
I
group
think what's
together?
happening is they keep enlarging the idea. From a television series, now they're going to make it a $10 million movie, and then they keep saying, well, we need longer time for special effects.
But they can't get all of the cast, the original cast, can they? That's part of the problem, isn't it?
They've got all the cast except for Leonard Nimoy, who played Mr. Spock, and Leonard just didn't want to have this identification you're talking about. Didn't want to have.
Well,
and I don't know.
I mean, when you walk around with pointed ears, that's identification. At least you didn't have to do that.
That's true.
Stand out of the
What
supermarket.
I've done is kind of take the identification. I've done a lot of other things in the intervening years, of course, but I've taken the identification with science fiction and kind of utilized it. Some time ago when I was last on your show, I had just come off a long tour of a one-man show. as a result of that one-man show, I was asked to perform with the Los Angeles Philharmonic with Zubin Mehta in the Star Wars concert, which made the national news. I did some material there. I then was asked to appear with the Houston Symphony and the Seattle Symphony and the Portland Symphony, doing some bizarre, wild material that I had put together myself. And it worked for the most part.
What kind of a feeling is that standing there with a symphony orchestra? You know?
Mike,
That's got to be
I mean, you
mind-boggling.
talk about dangerous things. I went out into the Hollywood Bowl, and it was jammed, 17,500 people.
Oh.
And you know, when you stand in front of a large audience and you're spotlit, most of the audience, if not all, disappears.
Yeah.
And you're looking into that bright light, and you're acting sort of for yourself. Out, as we all know, there's a combination between acting for the audience and acting for yourself, but you don't see the audience. This was bright daylight. The sun hadn't yet gone below the horizon. And I could see everybody. And everybody could see me. I was naked, in effect.
Yeah.
And I stood out there. Well, it's the
That's
best
why
way to
there was-
attract attention.
Why, there were 17,500
How to
people
hold,
there.
how to hold a person's
Otherwise, you got
attention.
22 people.
So it worked. It worked. And it worked in Houston. And I went to Vancouver with the same Star Wars concert. The actor's nightmare is one of two kinds. One is you're actually naked in front of all those people and you don't know the name of the play or the lines. That's the actor's nightmare, right? The other actor's nightmare is they're saying, get off the stage, right?
Yeah.
Boo, hiss, get off. In Vancouver,
And you're a Canadian.
yes, it happened.
They booed?
10,000 people appeared for what they thought was a rock concert. And it was the Vancouver Symphony. And I was doing some weird material about whales and H.G. Wells and stuff like that. And they did, the symphony started off with Holst's Planets, which is interesting stuff, but it wasn't rock and roll. And these people are going, hey, what's going on? Now I come out, and I've got to hold them for 15 or 20 minutes. I have held 10, 20,000 people and talked to them, and you could hear a pin drop, and it's magnificent. But when it didn't happen, and they're yelling, get off the stage! Well, we all know what flop sweat is.
Oh, yeah.
I was the nightmare of all time, and then I had to reappear the next night in Seattle. And all that night, the next day, I kept thinking, God, if this happens again, I'll never be able to act
They
again.
couldn't have followed you,
Did
though.
you continue with all that going?
I just continued on. I just had to brazen myself on.
Do a little bit of what you're talking about for us now, will you? Some of the material you've done. 'Cause
I'll do
we're
one
in a little-
hunk, H.G.
Good.
Wells,
Okay.
War of the Worlds. Okay.
Bill Shatner.